Okay, today I'm going to show and bring it all the way back to the atom. Today I'm going to show what is known as atom cloaking, which actually is the Lorentz force, but I'll call it cloaking because that's about as close as it probably is if you want to have a mental visual. So I do apologise that the paper is blue because I had to change it because it was slightly wrong from the picture I posted last week about the electron not moving. It does move, and I'll show why in a minute. So I've revised the paper here, but it's low light outside, so when I took the picture near the window it went blue. So anyway, okay, we're going to start in the top left hand corner. Okay, we start in the top left, and basically if we look on the right there, that's the atom shell. In the middle there, the black dot, is the nucleus. So that's the arrangement of, let's just say, a hydrogen atom, which we're going to show has two orbitals, and it works in this fashion. Okay, so shooting out of the nucleus you get a tornado finger on the left there. There is an electron on the top of it because that's the crossover loop between two helixes in a double helix. If you imagine bending a spring over and shoving it into itself, you will have one spring at the top. That's how energy moves, because it's always attached to the nucleus in this construct of the atom. So you've got your tornado finger with the electron on top. Basically it's a candle, and I've seen this, I asked the Lord to show me it, and it was kind of like I saw it in reverse. What I saw was like an upstretched arm of electricity with a fist holding the electron, but all I could see was lightning. It was a lightning arm with a lightning fist grabbing nothing. Everything else was black. It was like an inverse, like negative of what we think is happening. So yeah, the actual electron is a vortex of electricity with like a fist holding on to the electron. So if we move along the pictures there, we've got the double helix, tornado finger, and then you get separation when there's a extra energy added. And so on the right there we have the atom construction. So just like smoke rising from a cigarette, this is how it starts to cloak itself. Okay, so we have my pictures numbered there, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So on number 1 we have the original waveform that comes out. As it comes out via the Lorentz force, which means it shoots out, as I'm saying, with the electron on top. The wave rolls over and starts to spin out two wings. We go to picture number 2. The wings rotate around and pass in front of itself. The left hand side is counterclockwise, the right hand side is clockwise. The clockwise side goes inside, and the counterclockwise side of the cloak is on the outside. Now while the cloak is unraveling, because it's a waveform, if we go back to picture 1, you can see the electron on top. That starts spinning downwards as the cloak drops. So it is spinning in and out of the orbital, which is why it flashes. So then we go on to number 3, and basically you've got kind of like I've put tulip shape there, but yeah and no. You've got a vortex through the middle which is now tightening up, so it's starting to look a little bit like an onion. The two wings cross underneath each other, and then the Lorentz force, which if you have enough energy and create enough waves, will suddenly take a 90-degree turn perpendicular to the original flow, which is what I've always said energy does. So the two wings turn themselves into each other and then twist and go up through the middle, including the electron. And then in picture 4, as you can see, it's formed a figure 8 where the cloak was swung in front of itself, folded underneath itself, and then pushed up back through the center and through the nucleus. And then as you can see in picture 4, the electron is now at the second orbit, and as you can see the two arrows, the same process happens again. Exactly the same. And just so you know, this isn't made from a ball, a circle. This cloak is made from a square. Basically, you have a square or a rectangle of material like a scroll. You would roll the scroll into the middle, so you've got two helixes together. If you placed one on the ground, or the bottom on the ground, bent over the two top parts, the inside of the scroll would stretch around, then you would roll it backwards and down, twist it together and push it up between the bottom of the two scrolls at the bottom. That is what is happening. This is not made from a circle, it is a square or rectangle of energy, a quantum of energy, whatever that would be called. But for now, it's a flat sheet that's rolled up, and then the ends are bent round and pushed back through the middle, which is the Lorentz force. So as you can see in the middle picture, it even says Lorentz force energy extension, because that's how an electromagnetic railgun works. This is how a railgun works, because everything is electric, especially atoms. And if I just go back to the top here again, I'll just explain. All the matter is contained in the nucleus. So as it comes out, it looks like smoke. That's exactly what it looks like, rising smoke in a double helix. And as basically it's a little wire frame like you can see on the left there, but it's coated in matter. And we could zoom in, and the reason that there's lines everywhere in the smoke is because it's a fractal repeating pattern. So it's one on top of the other, stacked up. I've shown that in my EM field video, that it's just waveform stacked upon waveform. The same simple square waveform stacked on top of one another. So as it spins downwards, each tiny little piece is covered in matter. And so that's why it's literally made of nothing as well, because it's a tornado with a matter shell, which is kind of hollow on the inside really. And then it spins in a figure eight, goes up, back up through itself, twists out, electron on top, and then flaps its cloak around itself in a figure eight, and then back up through the bottom again. So that's about it really. So I'm just going to go through the explanation that I've written there, just so we all know what's on the paper there. The atom shoots out a tornado finger, the helix separates to leave the electron in the center, the wave rolls into a scroll halo, the halo drops around its circular orbit and descends, unraveling matter as it rotates. And this is another addition, the electron rotates down through the orbital from the top vortex down to the bottom vortex. Then the two halo scrolls spin as per the Lorentz force laws, then turn perpendicular to the flow by 90 degrees as normal, causing the energy to re-enter the atom. The more energy causes it to leap forward another tornado finger, the electron is again visible, then repeat procedure for next orbital. So basically anything round is an energy apple. And then down in the bottom corner here, we've basically got, if we mirror image the picture on the bottom right there, you will have yourself a magnetic field. And that combined with the middle picture, the electron is always above itself. But I do believe that the vortex may be able to wander around, but every single electron comes out of the same vortex, which means all electrons are stacked one on top of another. And then it reverses, I think. I do believe the charge goes back the other way, whips off the second orbital down into the atom, back out, and unwrap the first orbital, let's just say, and then go forward and come back out 1, 2 orbitals. This is the simplified version of everything. There's atoms out there with 90 electrons, but I'm showing you hydrogen with 1 electron and 2 orbitals, and this is how it achieved it. It shot forward a Lorentz force double helix tornado finger with an electron on it. The helix split, it flapped its cloaks around itself in a figure eight across the front and drops the cloak down at the back, then pulls the 2 wings underneath and straight through and out through the atom to form orbital 2 with the electron. Because these are also spinning in the x and y direction at the same time. And if you look at in the middle there, at the bottom of the picture, it is still my original waveform, a double helix waveform that is in the middle of that EM energy apple. And this is basically how God cloaks himself in light and shadow, as it says in the Bible. So now we know how he does it. You can just put waves through by the Lorentz force. So now I'm just going to show, a lot of pictures, there could be billions more, of things that use this procedure to make things in the world. This is how God made all the things I'm about to show you by this process, or a variation of this process, which is always directed by the DNA frequency size code. So I'll just take you through a couple of pictures. Obviously this is how a free floating sphere from a bomb is made, exactly the same process, whips around. As you can see, this is what an atom looks like apparently from the website, and as you can see, crisscrossing, interlinking shell. And then my favourite, how did you think an apple was made? In this process, the energy moves in this process while pushing out also from the centre to the waveform arms. That's how you get this piece through the middle. It's all closed up, then it opens. This apple shows you that it's got quite the vortex going on. It's how everything is made. Oh look, magnetic field. I'll just leave them up so we can let them sink in. This is how everything is made. It's from a scroll of energy bent over at the top and shoved up itself. That's why God talks about scrolls. That it is energy, it's electric. Energy is information, proven by computers that we save energy in, which turns out to be information. And scrolls and pictures we've seen everywhere, tied round the middle with an electromagnetic band. These are plasma discharges. They're also the same as atom cloaking, but not as much power. And when God says he'll wrap his arms around you, that's how he's electrical. And that's what that picture is all about. That's how a rose is made. Many layers of wave. And it's as simple as what you're seeing on the screen. That's what it looks like from the top, if it spanned both sides. And then these are just different kind of doodles of which way the pattern would spin. And then again the Lorentz force, atom cloaking, pushing outwards to each barrier gives you the fountain of life. Lord has clouds and wings and all sorts. Now I've just put this one back up because it just caught my eye. I've got to put it there. And just listen to what the Lord says. Bless the Lord, O my soul, O Lord my God, you are very great. You are clothed with splendour and majesty, covering yourself with light as with a cloak, stretching out the heavens like a tent curtain. He lays the beams of his upper chambers in the waters. He makes the clouds his chariot, and he walks upon the wings of the wind. So there we go. We've got our wings, we've got our tent, we've got a cloak, we have waters which are electric. Clouds are his chariots because they roll. Everything is rolling in Birkeland current, double helix energy funnels from down to infinity to out to infinity. And every piece of science that I've proven by showing is in the Bible, because it's an electrical event, but people don't understand that. The whole Bible is an electrical event, and if you put this double helix to every single thing in the Bible, you can accomplish every single miracle. And now, because I've brought this back to the atom, I'll be starting the very first creation video that is actually viable. It's called Electric Genesis, and I will be explaining by the Lorentz force, atom cloaking, how God made the world in 7 days by construction. And it was easy. Thanks very much. My name is Lee, and I'm a Christian.